filmmaking gear has gotten smaller and smaller. Like, this is a 4K drone. That's crazy. It used to be like the Phantoms, like those massive things that were 1080p, and now this thing is under 250 grams and it shoots in 4K. And then this is the DJI Osmo Pocket 3. I have used this thing mainly for personal use, but also some BTS, some B-roll, that kind of thing. It's been a fantastic little camera. I've always wanted to just use these two things to see how cool and beautiful of shots you can get with small gear that is relatively affordable in terms of, you know, filmmaking gear, in terms of cameras. Like, these are some of the most affordable high quality cameras you can buy, and I've always wanted to make a video to see just how beautiful it can be. So I'm gonna do that. I'm traveling for work over the next 2 weeks, going for a week to Vancouver Island, a few different locations there, and then I'm going to Alberta for a week to film for clients. So over the course of those 2 weeks, I'm taking these two devices. From what I've done so far, I think these things are incredible. So we'll be back, and then we can kind of assess what the footage looks like, some pros and cons, and then get back to it. So until then, I have a busy couple weeks ahead, and I'm gonna try and remember to film with these two items. So I guess I have to go on a plane. Well, not on a plane. First I have to go on a ferry. I wanted to give a follow-up after using these the last couple weeks. Actually, the last year or so, I would say. I got this over a year ago. I crashed my other drone, so I got this probably over a year ago. But I took these out and kind of really intentionally looked for cool shots to play around with instead of like just using them as run and gun type stuff. One thing I will say is getting the exposure right on these. On the Mini 4 Pro, I have, you're not going to be able to see that. There you'll be able to see it now. I have a little ND filter that you can screw to change the intensity. So it's a variable ND filter. That's very, very useful. Or else you just have to use the auto settings, and I don't love doing that. This one I'm a little bit more okay using without the variable ND and just kind of keeping the auto settings on, but I do have the color set to D-Log M, so I can do a little bit more color adjustments in post. But I'm always impressed. Like, I use this all the time for client shoots. No one ever says, oh, that could be a little bit more sharp, that could be a little bit better. If you get the exposure right and you do a little bit of color grading, even throw a LUT on there, whatever you want to do, this thing has honestly probably made me over $15,000 in the last year alone. And that's like piggying back off of other jobs. So if there's like a $10,000 shoot and there's a drone component, I always kind of separate those. But Definitely over $15,000. Even this week coming up right now, I have to do a corporate shoot with this. I'm taking it to Victoria, and we're getting some footage of some developments there with just this thing, and that pays pretty well. All that to say, these two things are like, I would recommend them to anyone. My brother's getting into filming his own content for his woodworking channel, and I told him to get this camera because you can just set it up on a tripod, it tracks your face, it's so versatile. I've made too many videos about this thing, but you can see the results. They look great, I think, for what they are. They're not going to be your super expensive camera, but these things are awesome, and I'd recommend them to anyone because I even use this for some corporate shoots, some events and stuff like that. And also it's great to not get kicked out of places, because sometimes when you need to get a shot of something and maybe you don't have permission to do it, which I have never done, I'm not saying I've done that, but if I did need to do that, I would use this so security doesn't kick you out. That's all I have to say. Do your own research. I think they're great. I use them all the time, like several times a week. I'm using both these things, either for BTS or for corporate or whatever it is. But if you want them, get them. If you don't, don't. But I think they're sweet.